Hello, everyone. This is Elizabeth with Scott Leroy Marketing, and welcome to Lead Generate with Command Facebook Ads 101. Today is June 21st, so if you're viewing the recording, some of the features may not be the same. Today, we're going to start in Google Chrome Incognito. Google Chrome is the red, green, yellow, and blue circle, your internet browser, and to get an incognito tab or window, you want to click the three dots in the top right corner and select New Incognito Window. We're going to go first to Command, which is agent.kw.com. And there's the link in the chat if you need it. We're going to enter our username, which is generally first initial, last name, maybe a number, may also be your email if you've changed it, but this is not case sensitive. So enter your username and then enter your password, which of course that is case sensitive, and click sign in. Once that's loaded, we're going to click on our name in the top right corner and then click settings. And once that's loaded, you'll see it defaults us to the connected applications. Your screen may look different than mine. I have quite a few connected applications. Today, we're going to focus on the Facebook Ads Manager, which may be the second Facebook one listed. The Facebook and Keller Williams partnership does make the sponsored ads or the Facebook ads, paid ads, more cost effective, and it furthers your reach with the different clients, consumers on the other end. There is a slightly better price as well, so we do recommend running your sponsored ads through Command. Now, you must already have a business page created, and I have this KW support article pulled up here. You can find this by going to answers.kw.com and searching for Facebook ad. You can also find it by going to the command section, then the campaign section, and it's the one titled Set Up for Success Before Launching a Facebook Ad Campaign. And here's the link to this article in the chat. So like I mentioned, you must have a Facebook business page already created. So first step, here's a link to get that created. Next, in order to run ads, you must have the two-step verification set up. So here's a link to learn how to set that up if you don't already have it. Third, you must have the admin role on that page. For example, if you gave somebody else freedom to create the page and own the page, you must at least be added as an admin in order to run ads. And here's a few links to find out what your role is, how to assign someone an admin role, etc. You definitely want to ensure you have read and accepted the Facebook lead ad terms, and I'll point that out later where that may pop up. So be sure to check out this article if you're setting up your Facebook account for the first time. And like I said, as you can see, I do already have my Facebook connected, but you would simply just click the blue Connect Account button that would appear on the right-hand side next to Facebook Ads Manager. And you want to sign in using your Facebook email address or phone number. Generally, that's a personal email address, especially if you've created your Facebook account previously. It may be a personal email address. It may be a really old personal email address that you don't use anymore. But you want to sign in with that to connect your Facebook account because that business page is connected to that account. The difference between this Facebook Ads Manager and the Facebook Post Scheduling, which is the first one listed on my page, is the Facebook Post Scheduling is to post to the page, not your profile. There is no additional cost for posting to your page. And this is how you can schedule posts for future dates and times. The Facebook Ads Manager, which is what we're going to be going over today, is the sponsored ads that you see on your news feed. So for example, if you see something like this pop up in your news feed from a red store, it'll say sponsored underneath. And it's something, you're not friends with a red store, you don't like their page, but they're paying for you to see this ad. So sponsored ads will not show up on your page's timeline if others go to visit your page, but it will show up on others' news feeds. Posting an ad will, of course, cost money, and I'll get to that later on how much. And at this time, there's no way to schedule out this post in the future, schedule out this ad in the future. It will publish immediately. If you're thinking, hey, this isn't the name of my business page is Elizabeth Cruz Real Estate or Real Estate in Manhattan, don't fret. This will only show your name as the account that's connected to the command. Again, these won't post to your account, they'll post to your business page. So don't worry if you see your personal Facebook account name here. Now, you may also be thinking, once you are connected and this status column says connected, it may not pop up top. Again, don't worry, as long as it says connected here in that third column, you're good to go. At this time, unfortunately, you are not able to connect your Instagram to command, but if your Facebook is connected to your Instagram, then you'll be able to post to your Instagram through the Facebook connection. And again, I'll get to that a little bit later. So now that our account is connected, we've created that business page, we've read the terms and conditions, we've made sure our two-step verification is on, all of those things from that article I posted in the chat. We're going to go straight to campaigns. Here is where you'll see a whole bunch of different types of campaigns. Paid ads, which is what we're going to review today. You'll also have emails, direct mail, and social posts. This social posts is what you can create if you do that post scheduling connection. Before diving into the paid ads, though, let's head over to the payments over in the top right corner. It's kind of a button, but it doesn't have any outline there. You'll definitely want to connect a payment method before we begin. So if your screen looks like mine, it looks like you don't have a card on file yet, you'll just come down to the center left of the page and you'll see this blue Add a Payment Method link. Just simply click that, and then one of these embedded pop-up boxes will pop up where you can enter in all of your information. All of the fields are required, so make sure you fill in all of them. And once you're done, click Add Card. Once you have that card added, it'll show up here under the payment information section. And now we can create campaign. So I'm going to click the big blue Create Campaign button in the top right corner. And another little embedded pop-up will show up. And it'll prompt you to pick a campaign type. So today we're going to do the social ad paid. From here, you can also choose the Google AdWords search ad paid, social post, direct mail, email. These should look familiar from the tabs up top as well. So simply click social ad paid, and you'll see the next pop-up screen where you'll enter a campaign name. So enter whatever you would like this campaign to be called. This will only be visible to you. So I've entered my name here. Next, what is your goal? Do you want to advertise a listing, advertise multiple listings? At least 3 here. You want attract listings, attract talent. Let's say you wanted to grow your team. Brand awareness, which is what we'll be focusing on today. Event awareness, for example, open house. Attract buyers, or when in doubt, you can choose other. Choosing a goal here simply helps KWRI in their reports and analytics. It does not affect what you'll see on the next screen. You can change these later, so don't feel overwhelmed by choosing one now. And next, where will your campaign run? I'm going to choose Facebook because I have my Facebook connected. If your Instagram is connected to your Facebook, you can also check Instagram if you so choose. You can also choose Twitter if you have your Twitter connected. Pretty similar process to connecting your Facebook account. You would simply connect your Twitter account and that paid version of a business account. And then you'll click Create Campaign. Now, I do want to point out up here towards the top right, and you'll see this on several different pages. It's a fairly new feature within Command, is the purple guided tour. I'll basically be going over what this guided tour goes over, but you'll see as I click next, it'll go through the entire process of creating a campaign. So in case you ever forget what we covered today, or just need A little tip here and there, you can always use this feature. And now we're simply going to go through each of these sections, fill them out, and once we have all green check marks, we'll be able to publish. So like I mentioned, this first section here is the campaign name and goal that you can change if you've changed your mind from the previous screen. Once you're done with this section, click Save, and it'll collapse again. Since I'm going to do a brand awareness campaign today, I'm going to skip this listing section. But if you are doing, like, for instance, a just listed campaign, you can add your listing here. KWLS will pop out from the right-hand side. You can search for your address, click search. You may need to change the status. You may also need to change show all listings. But once you locate your listing here, you'll just click select and it'll add the listing to your campaign. So you don't necessarily need to do this step if you're doing the brand awareness. Next section is text. So we're going to click configure here. And we're going to type in what you would like to display on your ad. For example, my main copy text is going to be, I've moved to Keller Williams, and my broker name. You'll have up to 250 characters to fill this box, but I will say you do want to keep it a bit shorter. And that's because if we come over here to the right-hand side, this is where the preview is going to be. We always suggest changing this to Facebook Preview Mobile instead. That's because most people that are viewing Facebook do view it on their mobile device, their smartphone, their iPhone or Android. So you want to make it optimized view for those devices instead of the web feed, like on a computer. That will reduce the character count that is seen. For example, oops. You'll see once I max out my character count, it'll stop me from typing any more here. And you can see how it looks on the preview on the right-hand side. You'll also notice that this one ends in I have moved to KW. And here it ends in I've M. So some of the text will be cut off. And you see there it cuts it off again. So you want to make sure you're using, oh, there we go, just a brief amount of text in this main copy field. Plus, we just want to catch their eyes. We don't want them to read too long. Now, another benefit of this field is you can use emojis. You'll click the little happy face in the bottom right corner of that field. And let's choose that one. Next, we're going to enter a headline. Now, there are a few headlines suggested for you. You can shuffle through those by clicking the shuffle off to the right-hand side. Maybe. Let's see what Firefox is doing today. Bear with me one moment. I want to be sure to show you how that works. Let me just zoom over to campaigns. Create, social. That preview and crop image is going to come up in just a second. So I'll show you where that goes. Paste. Let's do our emoji again. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Nope, not working today. And it also looks like it's cutting off the suggestion too. So if you're experiencing this on your end as well, you may want to shoot KW support, a live chat, or message, which real quick, that's in the question mark in a circle in the top right corner. And then select chat with support, just so they know that that's acting up today. So back to the headline. So that's going to go in this bold text here. So if you want to do something like contact me to learn more, you can. And again, that's going to be 25 characters. And you want to make sure that it doesn't get cut off there. Yep, looks good on the web feed as well. Next is going to be the description. Now, this is only shown in some placements across Facebook, but you can also use emojis here, just like that main copy field. So in description, you'll see it pops up right underneath the headline, that bolded text. And you can say something like your big why. You know, why did you move to Keller Williams? Or why did you start a career in real estate? You know, something to that effect. If you feel like the description is best in the main copy instead, feel free to switch those around, totally up to you. You also have 250 characters here, so lots of space to play with. You do want to make sure you review the advertising policies for Facebook, and you can do so by clicking this link here. Each of these sections is going to have a link to Facebook support to make sure that your ad will get approved and published. So we suggest taking a look at these, reviewing these, well, and reviewing them frequently as well, just to prevent your ad from failing. Once we have all of these fields entered, we can click Save to collapse that section. On to the next is Media. We're going to click Configure here to drop that down and to edit it. First, you'll see you can choose images or video. So I'm going to select media for images. So video's good if you have a really fast, quick, like 10, 15 seconds, maybe more like a GIF of a tour of a property, maybe driving into a driveway for an open house. You want something really quick that will catch someone's eye and then prompt them to click to learn more. Um, you know, the max will be like 10 minutes, and I'll go over the video section next. But you definitely want to, keep them wanting more. So less is best. But for images, you can either choose from listing, add images, either from designs or upload from your computer. But you can also add video from here too. So when in doubt, just click select media right off the bat. So if you choose from listing, if you select your property up in that second section, the images will populate here to choose from. Then you would preview and crop from there. Add images. Again, you can either choose from designs, which is what I'll be doing today, or you can upload images from your computer. So if you have an image you'd like to use right from your computer, wasn't in command yet, you can select this button here. But today I'm going to browse my design library, and I'm going to use a previously created one. Click. It'll attach it. It'll take just a minute. There it goes. Now, high resolution images work best for social posts and ads. They must be JPEG or PNG format and no bigger than 3 megabytes. KW does suggest using images with little or no overlaid text to ensure ad delivery or publishing. So if you think your picture has too much text, you can always check this Facebook Ads text overlay checker. Super great tool. You can upload your picture right away, and they can tell you whether or not it'll pass or not. And then if you hover over the best practices, here are a few additional tips for your pictures. So you can use the sliding scale here to make sure that's the picture that you want. And then we're going to click preview and crop image next. So you'll see it defaults it to this square, the 1-to-1 ratio, which is best for most placements. Since mine was previously created as a wide image, I'm going to change it to the wide format, the 1.91-to-1 ratio. You also have a few formatting icons here if you need to crop or kind of balance it out. You can always rotate left to right. So a few different options here. Once you're happy with it, you can click Save Image. Now, if you're thinking, man, that's a really great image, I wish I could create one like that. Well, you can. This is actually created in Command. And I wanted to show you where you can find those real quick. So you'll see on the left-hand side, we're in Campaigns right now, which is the little megaphone. We're going to head over to Designs. When in doubt, you can click this red square with the white KW to expand the name of the applets while you're still learning. But Designs is the paintbrush in the square. And what I'm going to do so I don't lose my place in my campaign is I'm going to right-click open link in new tab. And you'll see it keeps me on this page so I don't lose my progress, but it opens an additional tab that takes me to designs. From here, I'm going to flip to the social tab. And this is where I found my previously created design. And then I'm gonna click the big blue plus sign in the bottom right corner. Since I'm already on the social tab, it's gonna have social selected, but if you stayed on email, you can click social now and click next because we wanna be in the social templates. We do recommend using Firefox for any of the design work. It tends to work best. Once that loads for you, click the lead generation title on the left-hand side to drop down that list, and then click I Heart KW. It's going to kind of stand out because of that heart. It's so bolded. So click that and you'll see a whole bunch of already created designs for you. So this one's mine here, the making a move. But you'll see, here's another one with a little bit more detailed background with a simple white overlay. Here's a taller vertical one. Here's some with text, which wouldn't necessarily recommend for a Facebook paid ad. So quite a few options here, and feel free to narrow them down by either social wide or social square or even stories like for Facebook, Instagram. So I just simply clicked use, added my picture, added my Market Center logo, saved. That was it. These are already created for you, so it doesn't take much time to edit them, but you do want to personalize it because obviously that's not me. So now that I'm done with this page, I'm going to close this tab. Feel free to leave that up if you need to go back and create one later though. But that's where I found my image that I'm using today. Next is the DBA logo. So doing business as. If this is not already loaded, remember that kind of grayed out embedded pop-up that we saw at the beginning? This is where it was loading to. This is where it was previewing and cropping itself. So if that did not load properly for you, you can click this Market Center logos link here to be directed to KW Connect. And I'm going to do that in a separate tab here. It'll take you right to logos and branding. Scroll about halfway down, and here is where you can search by Market Center number or name to download the entire suite of Market Center logos. There's going to be like 7 different kinds. Love all of them equally. Again, I found that by clicking this Market Center logos link here. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to post those in the chat. I am watching that, so I'll be able to answer them as soon as they're posted. Next, it's going to ask you where you want that DBA logo positioned. My personal preference is the left because my Market Center logo is left aligned. So I like the left, but you can also choose right because that's what it defaults to. Yes, you can post without doing it as an ad. It would be under the social posts tab instead, and that would post just to your business page. It wouldn't post out to others' news feeds like a paid ad would, but you can definitely just post without doing it as an ad. As we don't have an exact full length hour long live class over social posts, we do have quite a few very recently created tip videos that range from 1 to 10 minutes over social posts. So I'll show you our YouTube channel later as well, but you can go there to view all of our tip videos over social posts. And yeah, you're welcome. Now, I also suggest, as you can see, and I previously mentioned, when creating this social square here to change out the Market Center logo, most of the time I do delete those just because it saves the text that is on the picture. So I do highly suggest removing the Market Center logo from your design first because you can see it duplicates here, and having the DBA logo here doesn't duplicate it. But in this circumstance, I didn't delete it, so it does double. So I'm just going to click this X here to remove it. Ta-da! Now it only shows once. Next section is the include my ownership statement. Ownership statement can be whatever your broker suggests. Typically, it's something like each office is independently owned and operated. So what it's asking for is something to that effect there. And then you can click apply to apply it to your preview over here on the right. And you can also see what looks like that's going to default to the left there if there is no logo. But that's why I like to have the logo here as well. I can position the DBA logo on the left and the ownership statement pops to the right. And it'll be within this white faded area on the bottom here. Once we're done with this section, we'll click Save, and that'll collapse it back up. And we have the green check mark. And next section is Facebook settings. So I'm going to click Configure here. First field is the account. Mine's going to default to my personal account that I have connected to Command. So I'm going to select that to make sure that that's applied fully. Next field is the page. So if you have more than one page connected to Command, which if you just connected your Facebook to Command today, after you entered your username and password, you were prompted with a couple of checkboxes to select which page you wanted connected. I myself only have one page, but you may have a page for your Scentsy business, your lawn mowing business, your real estate business, and your Jamberry business. You can select and connect all of those businesses and their pages to Command. But specifically for this brand awareness, we're starting in real estate, we're starting with Keller Williams, we want to choose the real estate page. So you would choose your real estate page here. you'll get this little spinning circle, and you'll see once it applies, my name will change in the preview, and my destination will have Facebook lead gen form selected. Now, remember back from the beginning when one of the best practices for connecting your Facebook account was to read the terms and conditions. If this is your first ad and you just connected your Facebook account, here is where you will see that pop up. It may not pop up on top, it may go behind, and it may go a little bit off screen too. So you want to be sure you can minimize this window here to be able to look for that. It may also start blinking down in your task tray. So just be on the lookout for that terms and conditions pop up to accept or approve that window. If this is not your first ad and you're getting, some sort of error here, you may have to refresh the connection. So you may want to go back to settings and disconnect, and then go to your Facebook and remove the API, the connection from command, and then come back to command and reconnect. If either of those sound really overwhelming, feel free to reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to help out with that. That is one common error we see at this point in ads. We also have videos and articles that cover all of that if that's your learning style as well. So if you get an error here, not to worry, just contact us and we'll help. Now, like I said, once I select my page, it does default to the Facebook lead generation form. This is recommended not only by Keller Williams, but us here at Scott Leroy Marketing as well. That is because if you have it default to the Facebook lead gen form, all of the contacts, the consumers that click this Learn More button will populate within command. So I'll say that again. If you have this Facebook lead gen form connected or selected here, those contacts will populate in command. The other option is to select the site or landing page, which doesn't really change your options, but what it'll do is it'll take the consumer to whatever website or landing page that you select, which does not have to be command. But in doing so, command won't capture their information. You'll have to manually download from that site and then manually import into command. So Facebook lead gen form, highly suggested. Unfortunately, at this time, when consumers populate in command, it does not indicate which property or paid ad they contacted you on. I believe, do not quote me, I believe that is something they are working on. This is a good time, though, to show you ideas.kw.com. This is where Keller Williams developers come to see what you all want next, because Command is created by agents for agents. So this is a great site to get lost in if you have some extra time or bored on the weekends, what have you. Come here. Again, that's ideas.kw.com. Posted that in the chat. And here is where you can see not only ideas that you've posted, what already exists, what they will not implement. It's broken down by categories here. And we'll see under the campaigns, a lot of people want LinkedIn to be connected. Canva integrated, So vote on the ones that you like. The higher they're voted, the quicker that they'll be added to command, and you can have a say in what's going on and what is added to command. Another great thing about the Facebook lead gen form is, I don't know if you've ever clicked on the button on a paid ad before, a sponsored ad before, but it only has 4 fields. It has first name, last name, email address, and phone number. Now, unfortunately, you can't change those fields that it's asking for, but if the user already has those filled in on their Facebook, which, you need a first name, last name, and email address or phone number to create a Facebook account. So typically all users have that information. It will automatically populate in that form for them. So it's even easier for them to click through and get to the information. Whereas a site, they may get discouraged and just skip viewing the information altogether because they don't want to enter all of that information. Next field is the button label. So you have a few options here: learn more, sign up, or apply now. Learn more works best for my example, so I'm going to leave it at that, but you can change it by clicking that drop down. Next field is the website URL. Now, if you do have a listing for a just listed or an open house, what have you, we highly suggest going to your command website, which is, it may or may not look like your email address, but it will end in .kw.com. And then search for the property. Mine's in Nashville, 37201. And then it may not be an accurate listing, but I can find different listings here. So pretend mine is 515 Church, which I definitely wouldn't use because it's not even Keller Williams property, but I can search for my listing here. I can visit its own property page on my own website. So see, very nice looking website, has all the pictures, all of the information. I can copy, click to select all, and then right click copy this URL and use it in this field. Again, that's mainly for if you have a just listed or open house. We suggest using the property's personal page on your website so that that traffic gets directed to your website. And if they want to play around on your website further, it stays branded to you. For something like a brand awareness, you may just want to use the first front page, homepage of your website. Well, landing pages on the Keller Williams websites include HD videos or 3D tours in addition to pics. Landing pages, yes, you can add videos as one of the widget options for those. So you want to be sure you have those videos already hosted somewhere, like your free YouTube channel included with your KW email. And then from there, you can add it to the landing page. Yeah, definitely. So once you paste your website here, you definitely want this green check mark to pop up. It may take a moment, so don't fret. But if you are having any problems with this section, reach out to us. Or you can choose the landing page, which is what I was just talking about answering that question is you can create a standalone website. So it's just a one pager basically that you can have linked to this button here. Another common error we see is when you select the Facebook lead gen form, an error will pop up saying it's invalid. That, I didn't mention it earlier, but that is what will prompt the accept the terms and conditions to pop up that window. So when you see the invalid error, accept the terms and conditions. So last section is the targeting. So your audience is set automatically. You can also customize this and set your own values. So right now the location is Nashville because I accidentally selected a listing for my brand awareness, which is good for the example, but doesn't really make sense in real life. And the default is 20 miles. If you want to use custom settings, you want to toggle those on by clicking this toggle and it'll turn green. And it'll switch to target my database or target a custom audience. If you want to select target my database, this will upload a custom list to Facebook. You're able to target based on tag, neighborhoods, etc. Also a good time to point out, if you see anything with an eye in a circle, it's like a little tooltip, a little helpful hint. So be sure to hover or click whenever you see that little eye in a circle for more information. Location, so you can choose to target another country. You can choose to target another city. For instance, we're going to let this load here. There we go. It will also have major attractions as well. So if you live near a baseball stadium, you can simply choose that as well. But you want to click to apply those. You can also change the radius. The minimum is 15, so you can't go any lower than that. The next field is optional, but it's for expert targeting. So do you want to show this to people who match these interests? If you would like to do the expert targeting, we suggest the following, and I'll post these in the chat here. Homes.com, real estate, if you're into luxury properties, if you're into first-time home buyers, house hunt is a good one, mortgage calculator. If you specialize in farm, ranch, land, lot, vacant, commercial properties. We also see a lot with Zillow and Trulia and Realtor.com. So you would just simply search for those keywords, those interests here. And once you hover over it, you'll see the estimated audience size. Now this is global, so your ad won't be shown to all 8 million of them. It will just be shown to the people who have homes.com as their interest within these 15 miles of Kansas City, Missouri, United States. But once you check one off, you can add the next. For example, I do want to market to luxury property interest owners, commercial, if someone's interested in commercial properties. if someone's interested in Realtor.com, I suggest doing the plain one, not the pro. The pro is mainly for agents. That is also the case with Zillow and Trulia. I recommend the plain one, not the Premier Agent. So anyone who has an interest in Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, Homes.com may typically be looking for houses. First-time home buyer. That one may be an old one now. Real estate. Investing even. You know, getting your real estate license. So lots of good ones here. Once you're done selecting them, click Save and they'll apply. For tips to create a more successful campaign with more leads and more clicks, it really depends on quite a few factors actually, but time of day, time of week, day of the week, and even the market. So here in my market may be something different than your market, maybe something different from Orlando, Florida's market. What we suggest is running a few different but the same ads. So for instance, this one with this picture is going to this location with these interests here. You can do the same exact one with a different picture. You know, you can do the same picture with different interests. So just creating the same campaign 1 or 2 or 3 times, but changing one thing per campaign. So I think it's known as like an A/B test or something, something similar to that at least, where you know you have a control and then you have one variable changed and you try that one out, and then for a third one you have another variable changed and you try that one out. You know, you can even try this ad for 1 day, this ad for 5 days, this ad for 10 days, and see what gets you the best results. You know, trying it out on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or even over the weekend. You may also do, and here in the next section, I'll go into this a little further, more of a budget per day. So there's a few ideas at least. Now, when adding these interests, this is kind of like an or function. So people who have homes.com as an interest, or people who have luxury property as their interest, or commercial, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Narrow audience, which is the button you then get a pop-up to add this section, is going to be the and function. So just as an example, I'm just going to choose this top one here. So in the United States, Kansas City, Missouri, a radius of 15 miles, include people who match real estate entrepreneur and accounting. So they have to have both of those matches in order to see this paid ad. So we don't typically suggest narrowing it down so much. We do suggest keeping it as broad, you know, and having at least 10 different interests. So if you accidentally narrow audience here, you can click the X to close out of that section. Here's another, make sure you review the Facebook advertising policies. This will pop out with a Facebook support article. So be sure to read over that. But once you're done with this section, you can click Save. Again, that collapses it. And we can go to the next section. So for duration and budget, Keller Williams and Scott Leroy Marketing do recommend a 10-day campaign with a budget of at least $1 per channel per day. So if you remember back when we first started this campaign, it asked us what channels we wanted to show it on: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And I only selected Facebook, but you may have selected more than one channel. So you'll see all of your channels here. You can select the dates by clicking the little calendar icon. I'm going to start it tomorrow. Actually, you know what? I'm going to start it on Thursday because I want that extra day to review and make sure this is going to be 100% before posting. Once I change my day, you'll see the duration has changed and will auto-calculate for you when you change the end date. Total campaign budget. So it's going to default you to 30. Not to worry. You can decrease or increase that amount if you so choose. But you'll see, since our duration is 18 days, if we dip below that $1 per day, our green check mark will disappear. So it recommends $1 per channel per day because that is the minimum, is $1 per day. So that other tip to create a more successful campaign would be to increase this budget so that your ad will go further. And you'll see as I click this plus sign to increase the budget, let's do an even number here. You'll see daily per channel, because I only have one channel, 60 divided by 18 is $3.33 per day. So if you wanted to get it to something round like $4 per day, you would have to spend $72 for those 18 days. Your ad must start at least the next day. So today's the 21st. You saw it defaulted to the 22nd, and then I pushed it out even further. Once you're satisfied with this section here, you want to click Save to apply that. We have all green check marks. So before you publish, I'm going to click Save Draft. I'm not going to publish mine today. I don't even have a payment added. But once this is live, you cannot edit it. Now, this is unlike Facebook, because if you create a sponsored ad through Facebook, you can edit it, but through command, you cannot. Should you obtain approval before placing an ad? Couple of places for approval. If you were advertising a listing that is not yours, ask your broker if that's even possible. Ask the listing agent if you can publish a campaign for it. You may also need to check with your broker for the ownership statement that I have populated here that you may need populated. They'll also tell you things like, the broker name, the logo, the phone number, the address. It depends on your state and local boards, but there are different things that are required for marketing and online marketing. So like I said, today I'm going to click Save as Draft. Are you sure? Yes. If you are 100% satisfied with your ad, you can go ahead and click that Publish campaign. If you do need to, in a way, pause, the best solution is to come over here to the right. So this was our campaign we created today, and pretend that our status is published. You'll see that pause campaign in this little meatball menu here, the 3 dots on the right. where you can pause and then duplicate, and then either duplicate and customize or duplicate and run to, in a way, edit your campaign. If you do pause it, you will get a refund. So you don't have to worry about that either. Whenever you do publish your campaign, that budget, that $72 that we left it with, and you'll see that here as well in the spend column, that is for this ad only. Again, unlike Facebook. If the ad fails, and you'll see that in the status column, it'll be a red failed button looking here. It may be because Command automatically adds the category real estate to the ad, but sometimes it does miss it. There are so many ads going out every day. So if your ad does fail, feel free to duplicate and run to try and get around that real estate category being missed. But of course, if you have any questions with it or need help with it, feel free to reach out to us. Typically, if you run an ad through Facebook alone, it'll be approved within a few minutes. And through Command, it'll be approved and published within 24 hours. So since I clicked Save Draft and we're back on this paid ads dashboard, you'll see, here's the overview of my titles and my channels that are connected to each of the ads. You'll see this one, I did an Instagram one. Preview of the ad. Status of the ad. You'll see failed here or approved, different statuses. Now, all of these acronyms here, CPM, CPC, CPLC, etc., click this little I in a circle. This is going to be your dictionary of sorts. So if you ever forget what any of these categories mean, you can click the little I in a circle off to the right in the center. So CPM stands for cost per milli, or cost per 1,000 impressions. It is the total amount spent divided by the number of impressions. So right now it's blank because my campaign's a draft, and there are no impressions yet. But in that column will be the CPM, cost per milli. CPC is cost per click or cost per link click. It is simply the total amount spent divided by the number of link clicks. CPLC, which is cost per lead captured, is the total amount spent divided by the number of leads captured. So pretty simple once you actually know what they stand for. So here on this dashboard is where you would get the metrics. And once you receive the leads, there'll be a number here. You can also click here, and this link, this view leads at the top right, will pop out and take you to contacts to show you those contacts that have come from those campaigns, which mine just defaults to all of them because I haven't ever run a campaign before. Last but not least, our website is scottleroymarketing.com. I posted that in the chat as well. Here is where you can find our contact information. Let us know if you have any questions about this or anything else, if I didn't answer your question today, or if you think of one later. As always, thank you for joining us today and hope you have a wonderful day.